Hello and welcome to a super duper edition of the NBL1 show thanks to Coles Express. I'm Megan Hustwaite, Pete Hooley with me at the desk as usual. How are you, Pete?
Doing well. I mean, what a weekend of NBL1 hoops. Every conference up and running, massive individual performances, big team results, and so let's get stuck into it.
Well, as we talked about last week, it was mental health round in NBL1 across the country. Amazing to see what the players, teams and all the conferences did for the round. A stack of money raised, $52,820 donated from Basketball Victoria to Lifeline. That's just the South Conference. We see Jenna O'Hay there, former Opals captain and Lifeline Australia Community Ambassador. But we'll have all the details on our website about all the donations.
I mean, that's why it was such a special weekend. Yes, the money raised, but you saw it around every single conference, all the teams. I mean, the colour of the jerseys people were changing. You saw Greg Hire have their own Stronger Together jerseys that were designed by Nick Tan, which were awesome. But more so than the money, I think it just started so many conversations, which is so important with mental health around. So it was special to be able to sit back and watch everyone do it in their own way. And we keep talking about the basketball community in Australia, and it's one of the strongest communities that anyone will ever know in sport.
Well, you were a conversation starter as well at the weekend. You shared some of your personal experience in a terrific article that you wrote on your website about your own mental health journey. Tell me a bit about the feedback that you got from that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect that. It was more so, I do go around to a lot of schools and clubs telling my story in a lot of depth, so I just wanted to get out there a little bit of a snapshot, because a lot of people always ask why I stopped playing at 27 years old after winning a championship, and I really just wanted to put a little bit of that snapshot down, and I was just surprised with what response I got, but more so the people who reached out saying, look, I'm actually going through a similar thing, or I stopped playing before 30 and I understand where you came from. I think there's so many of those conversations that have to be had, and I know a lot of friends around a lot of sporting different codes who are around a similar age or younger age who are starting to get to that those tough moments in their head. So just like get it out there. Anytime you can start a conversation, it's really rewarding just to get one person to say that it might have helped them. Yeah,
it was such a terrific, honest read. So insightful. Great to see the feedback you got from sharing it. And I think the media, the sports media, is definitely the winner here, because we've got you in that role. And I certainly love sitting with you each week. You're such a natural talent at it. So it's wonderful that you've been able to have two careers that have involved basketball.
Well, I didn't expect to do that, so that's very nice of you, thank you. But yeah, I'm enjoying this ride. Hopefully it's just beginning and many big things in store, but I enjoy sitting here every week and interviewing some lovely guests with you as well.
Yeah, awesome. Well, let's get into the action from the weekend. We'll start with NBL1 South, the women's action. Launceston are firing on all cylinders. They've got the 2Ks in Kelsey Griffin and Keely Froling, but they've added Mariana Tolo, who will debut for the Tawns. They're firing on all cylinders, the Tawns.
Well, they are. I think the special case is what we're rolling with. Now, Keely Froling had 33 and 11. Kelsey Griffin had 28 and 11. But when Tolo is added to that, they're currently 5th on the ladder. You can expect them to rise up pretty quickly in that ladder.
Tolo played for Knox last season. Terrific. She had a fantastic campaign over in France. Isn't it great that players come back to Australia and want to play in NBL1?
Well, I think it just shows just the talent pool that we have, but the level that the NBL1 now is. I mean, the true national conference, you can pick really which conference you want to go to. You know, you're going to get a fantastic level, and if you're not currently playing or you're trying to get warmed up for a WNBL season or go overseas, there's no better place to be than the NBL1.
Bendigo women having a sensational season. Sensational was what Megan McKay produced at the weekend. She had 60 points across the weekend with 40 and 9 in their win over Dandenong. Bendigo followed that up with a 37-point win over Frankston, and Tess Madgen was the star in that one.
Tess Madgen had just a lazy 30 points, 9 assists and 8 rebounds, and we're starting to get closer to MVP talk about each conference. She's definitely going to be putting her hand up. In the Ballarat Miners, they won twice. Their Seattle Storm draft pick, Jade Melbourne, she had a big weekend, 23 points, 6 rebounds in their 24-point win over Hobart. Followed it up with 23, 8 and 8 in a 45-point win over Dandenong. Star on the rise, already a star, superstar on the rise. One of the most fun players to watch, Jade Melbourne.
Did you see the pass to Christy Rinaldi on the highlights?
Well, we talk about seeing when people have fun playing the game. That is a young woman who has a lot of fun just playing basketball.
And when you're a veteran like Kay, I reckon you're loving that incoming pass too. So
absolutely
love seeing that. Let's talk South now. We talked about Frankston last week, and I put a little bit of heat on them, not too much. No, I didn't
put the blowtorch on.
Yeah, well, they deserved it, but they came through at the weekend, didn't they?
Oh, they did. They put, you had the blowtorch on them, but they torched Northwest Tassie, 91-51. Lockie Barker and Dan Triss, they had 21 points each. And now Sandringham, they were a bit of an underdog in this game against Casey. Shayley had 27, 9 and 6. What a tremendous season he's having. Toy Smith-Milner had 26 and 11. For Casey, Jock Perry had 22 points in the loss, but they're starting to get some things together as well, Casey, with the big fella Mango Mathiang. He's running around, a few NBL teams looking at him as well, so watch out for the Cavaliers.
Hobart had a huge weekend as well. Take us through it, Pete.
Well, they beat Ballarat 82-75, where Jack Jumper Sam McDaniel had 24 and 8, and then they took down Eltham. Harry Froling had 15 points and 14 rebounds. Exciting talent. They've added another import, so good things coming for the Chargers. But then Ballarat pulled off a big win against Dandenong. Dyson King Hoya had 22 and 12, but Preston Bungay stole the show with a putback game winner. I told you we had highlights and individual performances, but a putback dunk to win the game. That's pretty special. Have a look at it right here. No one boxes him out, and as easy as you like. And you don't often see a massive player like that to win the game not celebrated with much enthusiasm. I think they were just concerned about whether it counted or not. So I don't know. I'm not sure if in the NBL1 you go to the tape, try and have a look. I'm not sure, but it counted, and that's a big-time win on the road.
Well, as a former miner and a Ballarat export, we liked seeing that, didn't we?
Absolutely. Look, need to get back down to Ballarat. I think my name's up on the board in one of them. Maybe not the new stadium, back at the Minor Dome. Never got a chance to play for Ballarat in the new stadium, but it's a nice place to
be. It is. I was in Ballarat at the weekend. It was bloody cold. No surprises.
No, I'm pretty sure there's heating in the new stadium. Maybe not, unlike the
not in the city though. There's no heating in the city. Let's move on to East Women's now. Plenty of action in East. North Bears 75 defeated Canberra 56. The Bears are now 9 and 1. Riley Evans had 21 points. Emily Simmons, we've been talking about her every week. She is coming right through, 19 points and 5 rebounds. And when she's not dominating on the court, she's pretty much organising the Women's World Cup.
Oh, she is. And Newcastle, they defeated Maitland 80-57. Flames DP Chira Evans, she had 21 and 8 rebounds. And the University of Michigan graduate, Nicole Mugner, had 22 points and 7 rebounds. We're seeing a lot of big performances come out of the East. Yeah,
and Leilani Mitchell, the new mum, Maitland coach, back on the sidelines after baby Elle's arrival. She can do it all, Superwoman.
Oh, absolutely. That would be a really special feeling, that first country trip back after that.
Third on the ladder, Sutherland smashed the Hills 99-54, and surprise, surprise, who led the scoring?
Lauren Nicholson. I mean, we talk about superstars. Lauren Nicholson is definitely one of those, one of the best players we have in the country. She had 27 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists and 5 steals, showing her complete two-way game, and that's why she's not just one of the best in the East, she's one of the best in the country.
And Vanessa Panousis had 25 points, another star for the Sharkies, and she joins us now on the NBL1 show.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Great to see you. How is life at the Sharkies?
Life at the Sharkies is pretty good. Really cannot complain. Loved every minute of it. They've really welcomed me with open arms. Obviously, being a Comets junior, and I've played the Sharkies like my whole life. So it's actually been pretty cool to actually play for Sutherland Sharks, yeah.
So you're sitting third on the ladder at 8 and 3. How do you think the starts of the season's been?
It's been pretty good. I think we've been a little inconsistent, both offensively and defensively. Also, we've had one pretty bad loss. That was on the second day of a doubleheader. But overall, I think we're doing okay. I think obviously we would want less losses and obviously no losses at all. But yeah, can't complain with the start.
How good is it to be a teammate of Lauren Nicholson's and not an opponent?
Very good. Well, I actually played with Loz in Adelaide, so it's actually been really good to reconnect with her. Loved every minute of it. Obviously, when we had that really bad loss, she wasn't there, and we obviously missed her presence. But nah, she's awesome. Really good to play with.
And talk to me a little bit about how you think on an individual level you've gone so far this season. Does it give you a little bit less pressure playing alongside a star like Lauren Nicholson to be able to just flourish in your game, which it looks like you're doing?
Yeah, I think I've been going okay. A little bit inconsistent some games, but yeah, playing with Loz, I mean, she's going to make anyone look good. So yeah, it's been really good, especially to play a 2-man game with her. I think we work really well together, and trying to get the energy from her on the defensive end as well. She's such a defensive weapon. So just trying to pick up her energy off of that as well has been really good.
Speaking of losses, could you ever have imagined that you'd be playing against the GOAT, Lauren Jackson, in NBL1?
Yeah, that was pretty crazy, actually, not going to lie. And it was actually, to be honest, probably one of our best games that we've had so far, even though we did end up losing. I think our bigs did a really good job on her. Obviously, she dominated still and got 30 plus points. But I think our bigs really made her work. So it was really good to see. And I think collectively as a team, we played really well offensively and defensively. So it's good to get a pretty solid game out of us against the GOAT.
Now, talk to us a little bit about your journey. So you played in Greece. Normally when people say they're going over to Greece to play basketball, the first thing you're thinking is, how lucky are you? Now, we know you enjoyed it, but it wasn't all roses. There was a bit going on behind the scenes with what was going on in the world.
Yeah, there was. So I actually spent the last 2 years there, 2 seasons there. First year was in Lefkada, which is an amazing island, still on the mainland, but beautiful island. Some of the most famous beaches there. That was a really cool experience, obviously being my first time overseas. Really connected well with the girls on the team and also the coach. Then my second year played for Pasianana. My coach actually moved teams, so I followed him. Really great guy. So played there. Obviously last season we were in lockdown, so I got there in August, and pretty much September, mid-September, we were in lockdown in Greece. It was pretty strict, had night curfews, so had to be inside by like 9 p.m. It was pretty much just practice, home, practice, home. Can't complain though. The team really treated us well, especially with everything going on. Teammates were awesome, especially my roommate that I had. If it wasn't for her, I think I actually would have lost my mind. So yeah, I really can't complain, but it was very tough, I'm not gonna lie. And then came home pretty much this time last year, then had to hotel quarantine for 2 weeks. And then 5 days out of quarantine, we were in lockdown here in Sydney, which was pretty rough. So, yeah.
So you're a bit of a lockdown specialist by the sounds of it. Now, talk to us a little bit about what it's like. So you're not at home, you're in a different country. We know it's a beautiful country in Greece, but as you said, just the strictness of it, going to practice, coming home, when you're playing professionally away from home and you can't get your own escape from basketball to be able to mentally refresh, what do you do? Was there a lot of wine nights with your roommates? You playing games? What did you do to try and stay sane?
Luckily, me and my roommate, we literally are still to this day like really good friends. So we got on like a house on fire. She had a partner as well, so her boyfriend would be over all the time. So we'd just kick it, we'd play some games, have a lot of banter, obviously. But really, like, I mean, our teammates, we would go to each other's house and stuff. But I mean, to escape, we would just have chats to each other, really. And she was chill like me, so we literally had no fights, nothing, no complaints. So seriously, really lucky that I had her as a roommate. But yeah.
Gosh, it's triggering all this lockdown talk, isn't it? I'm starting to.
I know.
I said she's a lockdown specialist, but I'd like to think that
we are from Melbourne.
We are the world leaders.
Ness, so great to be home, obviously, after all that you've been through playing NBL1. You played in the WNBL before. Would you like to be part of the next WNBL season if things turn out that way?
Yeah, of course. I mean, pretty much not going overseas this year. So yeah, I think my eyes are set on WNBL. Obviously, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, yeah, I'll still be working. So yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, the team picks me up. Yeah, and I can play WNBL 2022, 2023.
Well, we ask this a lot to people trying to get back to the WNBL or those who are just starting out. And you're very vibrant, you're very happy all the time. But talk to me about now how you go about that mental game of it now. So you're playing NBL1 East, you've got that goal, you know that if it doesn't happen, you'll still be okay. But is there a lot of pressure you put on yourself, or how do you try and lift that off so you can just let your game do what it does?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. The last year has been a bit different, you know, just working casual here and there, and then not knowing what the future holds. And actually, Pete, I actually read your article about what you went through, you know, before you hung up your boots and stuff. And I feel like it was very similar to what like I'm going through. Like, it's just the unknown of not knowing what's next, if it's going to happen or not. Obviously, I do know I do have that option of being able to go overseas, but at the moment, I've chosen not to. So it is pretty much, it's the WNBL or nothing really at the moment. Yeah, just, just enjoying home, really. I think that's a big thing for me as well. Like, I've chosen to stay home. So just really enjoying family time, spending time with mates. Because for the last few years, especially being in college and stuff and being in Adelaide for WNBL, I have been away from home. So just enjoying the time at home has been really big for me. But yeah, it has taken a toll on me a little bit, but I try not to think of it. Just trying to enjoy the game again, really. Because even after those lockdowns, lost the love of the game a little bit there. So yeah, just coming back into NBL1, just trying to find the love for basketball again, really.
Well,
and the Sharks, thankful for the Sharks, they've allowed me to do that.
And it's starting to show through your game. And again, when you're smiling like you are, everything's going to work out for good people. So I'm excited to see what happens in your career. I think you're going to be set for some big things yet to come. So thank you so much for joining us and good luck for the rest of this season.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me, guys. Thank you.
Let's take a look at NBL1 East men's action now, Pete, and we'll start with bottom of the ladder, Bankstown, coming up against second-placed Canberra Gunners.
Well, talk about upsets. There's probably going to be no bigger upset than this. The Gunners have been flying, but Bankstown got the win, 89 to 86 over the Gunners, who have been absolutely flying. Mr. Elkaz had 25, 6 and a game ceiling and one. And the Gunners, William Mayfield, he had 25 points, 8 rebounds in the loss. That is an unreal result that I don't think many thought was going to happen.
And then North Bears spoiled the Gunners weekend, winning by 4. Kings DP Iggy Mitchell had 22 points and 9 rebounds, while Brennan Reimer had 23 points, 9 rebounds and 10 assists.
Big
Nearly
game.
hit that triple.
Big game, but I tell you what, the Gunners, that's a tough weekend for them. Lockie Hutchinson, he iced the Hills with a game-ending 3, stepped back for the clutch dribble. He had 11 points, 5 rebounds. And the Hornets' Paul Brotherson had 25 points. So this is a nice little game here. Knockdown from Lockie Hutchinson. That's a tough one. He enjoyed it. The bench enjoyed it, and so he should.
Let's have a look at North women's action now. We had Michaela Roof on the show last week, and did she put a message out to South, didn't she, about the dominance of NBL1 North? Logan remain undefeated. They continue to be dominant with a 94-78 win over North Gold Coast.
Off the bench, Danielle Bays, he had 30 in 23 minutes for Michaela Roof, the one you mentioned. 16 points and 23 boards. She's enjoying herself. Kayla George, talk about her every week. We have the GOAT watch, we have Kayla George watch. She had 28 points, 6 of 9 from 3, 17 rebounds and 7 assists in a 45-point win over Darwin. Cracking
game between Mackay and Townsville. Mackay won 77-70. They're 8-4 with Mila Goodchild scoring 21 points, while Alexa Hart had 9 points and 14 boards for Townsville. Steph Reed had 34 points and 9 assists, while Courtney Woods, had 20 points.
And we got a bit of Opals watch once again. Alana Smith joining the team. So another one joining the team with that's currently 5th on the ladder. You expect them to start rising up. So we might have to do our own little Opals watch segment because it's going to be exciting to see how those teams fare.
Then the Spartans 102 defeated Brisbane 73. Nadine Payne had 34 points and 9 rebounds. She's also releasing a children's book. We might get that shared out there, which is great. We love to see what our NBL1 stars get up to.
Well, as someone who might be needing that book, I'll happily take one of those, please.
Yep, definitely. And Leah Scott had 24 points and 10 rebounds. The team is missing Kalani Purcell at the moment, who is with the 3-on-3 Tall Ferns team in France.
Well, let's look at the North men's now. And the Gold Coast Seahawks, they defeated Logan 95-78. One of the feel-good stories of NBL1 season, Geordie Hunter. He's back in action. He had 21, 12 and 5, while Tamari Wigness had 17, 6 and 6. And Mr. Consistent every single year is aging like a fine wine. Logan's Jeremy Kendall had 37 points and 8 assists. He's a bucket every single year, and that's why.
Isn't he? He's a good wine. Mackay 82 defeated Townsville 74, with the Galloway brothers combining for 61 points and 17 boards.
Love seeing these two play together. They're two exciting young prospects on the national stage, but they just playing together, playing with your brother. Hey, used to be in the backyard. We're seeing it with the results there. Bawali Bales, he had a triple-double, 10 points, 12 rebounds and 13 assists. He might be small out there, but that man can get some rebounds and a lot of them. Townsville's Sam Froling, he had 19 and 9 in that one.
And the Northside Wizards 87 defeated Ipswich 79. Forces Isaac White. We've talked about him a lot this season on the NBL1 show. 26 points, 11 rebounds.
And Majuk Dang, he had 24 and 12 in that one. But coming out of this, the Lual Ding, he had 24 and 14 over the weekend, and the Bullets have signed him as a development player contract for a 2-year deal. So that's really exciting. Mitch McCarron speaks very highly of what he can do, and I'm sure there's a big future in store for him.
COE men's action. Pete, take us through it.
Well, in the Queensland road trip, they went 1-1. Logan defeated them 105-80. Thunder's Boston Maslin, he had 28 points, 6 rebounds and 4 assists. While on Sunday, they defeated the Gold Coast 86-79, with the COE's Rory Hawke scoring 22 points and 8 rebounds, and Tanner Krebs' 33 points. Not quite enough. Rory Hawke is having some sort of season for the COE.
Let's head out west now, take a look at the women's action. We'll start with Joondalup, who are 12-0. They are on fire. On Friday, they defeated the Redbacks 88-54. Robbie Ryan had 20 points, 8 rebounds and 8 assists. And on Saturday, they beat the Southwest Slammers 103-45, so a 58-point difference there. Nasaya Parker-Williams had 16 points, 8 rebounds and 4 assists.
And Mandurah, they beat Lakeside 73-66. Magic standout was Hannah Little with 14 and 13 off the pine, if you don't mind, while Lakeside's Sarah Dickey had 19 and 13.
And second on the ladder, Warwick Senators had a big weekend. They went 2-0 against East Perth.
They did. On the Friday, the Senators 96 defeated East Perth 65 on the road, with Nat Burton 25 and 8. And on Saturday, at the Senators' home court, they defeated East Perth 97-59. Stacey Barr, 23 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists. Whoever missed that last shot, people missing out on triple doubles by 1 assist or 1 rebound, help them out when you know they're on the triple double watch.
Let's continue the Wolves theme, Pete, and we'll take a look at the men.
Well, they went 2-0 over the weekend as well. Joondalup 96 defeating the Redbacks 91. Massive dunk by CJ Turnage. He come over from the Central. We know how exciting of a player he is. He had 34 points, while teammate Julian Pasava, he had 28, 12 and 5.
Then backed up with 17 points, 9 rebounds and 7 assists as the Slammers won 99-84.
Geraldton, they're still on top, 11-1. They defeated the Willetton Tigers 102-77. Geraldton's Cameron Coleman, 28 points and 5 rebounds. And a guy we spoke to not that long ago, Mathiang Muo, had 18 points, 9 rebounds and 6 steals, which he told me he likes to play defence. I used to play with him and never saw him play defence, so 6 steals is a good effort.
Mandurah and the Cougars put on a great show on Friday night. I was having a look at this one on the app, and Dequan Abron had 35 points to half-time for Mandurah, but the Cougars came back and won that game 105-99. He finished with 42 points.
Well, if you have 35 at half-time, you're expecting to at least get 50. That's a really big defensive effort in the second half. And closing that out, Warwick, they defeated East Perth by 20. They're tied for third on the ladder with the Wolves. Cody Ellis, give him another shot, an NBL team. He's an ultimate professional and he's still a bucket. He had 22 points in that one.
And Jared Anastasio had a block party as we take a look at some of those highlights from the weekend.
Rowe, they're being held stagnant by the Eagles defence. How about this? Wait, what about that? Anastasio says, not in my house tonight.
2 steals and that little flick to Anastasio. Very, very nice.
Rowe. Great play.
Oh.
Shed. Oh, Anastasio sends it back. Airmail special.
Pete, let's take a look at Central Women's action now. Some familiar names in this wrap-up, as per usual.
Well, there is. I mean, Forestville on the women's side, 78, defeated Southern Tigers 71. Eagles, Sam Simmons, she had 23 points, 9 rebounds and 6 assists. And I've got a feeling we'll be talking about her a little bit later on.
Tigers' Molly McKendrick had 22.7 rebounds and 6 assists. And then Woodville, 82, defeated North Adelaide 64. Woodville's Catherine Perkins had 22 points, 13 rebounds and 9 assists. And Emily Winter added 25 points, 8 rebounds and 5 assists.
And the West Adelaide Bearcats, they defeated the Central District 76-56. There was no standout star. 4 players in double digits, but Jenny Rintala had 19 points and 9 rebounds in the win. West Adelaide are tied for second on the ladder.
Let's take a look at Central men's action now, and we'll go on with Woodville. 9-1 on the season, continued their momentum on Saturday, defeating North Adelaide 108-71.
Massive win, and Juwan Stepney, he had 28 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, while Terry Wynn for the Rockets had 19 and 11. Sturt Sabres Big win over the Eastern Mavericks by 13 points. James Legan had 29 points and 7 rebounds for the Mavs, while Sturt's Devin Haygood had 25 and 6, and Jacob Rigoni, coming back from college, had 20 points as well.
And then second on the ladder, Forestville Eagles, just as dangerous, 110 defeated the Southern Tigers 74. DJ, 34 points, 9 rebounds, while Jack Purchase had 17 points, 9 rebounds and 5 assists. Well, he's one half of a power couple in NBL1 Central. Let's talk to Jack Purchase now.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Well, what's it like in the Purchase-Simmons household? Because you're both dominating. Busy times for both of you amongst NBL1, NBL, WNBL. Give us a little bit of an insight into the competitive household.
It does get competitive, that's for sure. We work out together pretty much every day with Rashad Tucker, so it gets very competitive. We compete on shooting drills. She actually beats me sometimes, so it gets on my nerves a little bit. But yeah, no, it's good over here.
Mate, what an honest man. I was going to ask you, and I'm sure she beat you a few times, and I thought I was going to get there's a no chance, but what a very honest man. That's something that hopefully you get something nice out of that. So talk to me a little bit about the season for the Eagles. You have a loaded roster. I'm sure everyone's put the expectation on you guys to have a really good season. How do you think things have gone so far?
Yeah, we've got a great team. I mean, even before DJ and I came in, we had a really good team. So, yeah, geez, it's pretty crazy. The last 2 games have all been blown out in the first quarter. So it's just at the start of the game, the ball to DJ, let him go to work, and then everyone else just fills in behind him. But yeah, it's pretty fun when you got we got 3 guys where you can throw the ball anywhere in the backboard, they can just go get it. So it's a fun team to play on, and hopefully we can keep it rolling.
So one of those guys you can throw it up to the rim would be definitely Adam Doyle. But talk to me a little bit about Daniel Johnson playing in the NBL1. Now, we know what he does on the NBL level, but how does he go at training? Does he do a whole lot, or does he just rock up and everybody knows he's going to do what he does best?
Yeah, no, he's DJ on another level. He just gets buckets whenever he wants, and nobody can stop him. So it's pretty fun to watch, and it's pretty nice just being able to throw it in there and get an assist whenever you give the ball to him.
What are you focusing in on personally this NBL1 season coming off your NBL campaign?
Yeah, I'm just enjoying playing basketball, getting back on the court, having fun getting up and down. It's been a tough couple of years for me, just not playing as much as I wanted to. So just getting back out there and enjoying the game again. Well,
talk to us a little bit how its decision came about to head to Forestville. We obviously know that one side of it with your partner, but you're coming back from that season with the Wildcats. You mentioned just trying to battle through, not playing as much as you'd like. So how did it come about? Did you have other options? What ultimately landed you down to Forestville?
Yeah, well, we had options kind of all around the country, Sammy and I. So we decided earlier that we wanted to play at the same club so we can watch each other play and be together. And she wanted to stay here. She's a Forestville girl. They came to the party pretty well, and then we just decided to stay here. We were thinking about staying in Perth, going to maybe go back to Melbourne, but then Forestville popped up, and we thought it was going to be a good option, especially with the team they put together. Well,
power couple comments aside, how lovely is it to be able to spend some time together, because you barely saw each other during your respective National League seasons, so it must be nice just to spend some time and be a couple.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great being able to hang out again, be together. It's we did about 4 or 5 months where we didn't see each other that much. So yeah, it's really good to be back, and we're living together now. So it's really good.
I want you to take us through just your mindset, as you mentioned, so the last couple of years. You're injury replacement player there for a little bit. We know you had your development player campaign as well. When you're an injury replacement, or you're just trying to find out exactly where things work out, how do you deal with that mentally? How do you stay prepared for that phone call of like, okay, you need me there, I'm going to be there, any opportunity I get, I'm still showing the coaches what I can do, training if I'm not potentially playing. It must be something that's a little tougher to deal with than most people would realise.
I mean, yeah, it is tough. I mean, you do have to stay ready. You have to you don't know when that next call is going to come, but it is all mental. You got to stay ready. You got to stay in good shape, and you just got to be ready to attack the next opportunity you get, and that's what I'm trying to do right now.
Now, you're playing alongside Daniel Johnson. He's been one of the greats in the NBL for a long time, but you got a front row seat to, we have the GOAT import debate in the NBL a lot, to the Bryce Cotton show. You got to see him train every day. You're a student of the game. Do you learn things from a guy like Bryce Cotton, even though you're not the same position, every single day that you're around there?
Yeah, for sure. He's unbelievable. He's every single day like that. He's not just on game days, doesn't rock up. He's every day at training. He's getting buckets. you know, you play 23 seconds of good defense, then all of a sudden he hits a dagger right over top of someone. So he was unbelievable, and just being able to be around him and learn from him was an unbelievable experience.
With everything you've learned and everyone you've learned it from, and then this NBL1 campaign, what are you hoping from the upcoming NBL season?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still waiting to see what happens. I'm just trying to, you know, get on a roster somewhere and hopefully get on the court. That's the goal at the moment. But right now, I'm just enjoying playing. It's just good to be back on the court and getting up and down with the fellas.
Well, you mentioned how competitive you were at the start of this chat. Now, we know if you win your conference, you get to go to the national conference the first time. We're going to see that. Is there been any little talks amongst the Eagles camp of, we take care of business here in Central, we get to go and show the rest of the country that, hey, we mean business, we've got a loaded squad, and if we can win our conference, we're going to make sure that we have a really good crack at winning this whole thing?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the goal. I mean, the goal is to obviously win the Central competition, but yeah, I think we have a really good team. We could really do some damage in the national thing. So I'm looking forward to hopefully making it through the finals here and then see what we can do on the national stage.
Yeah, the prospect of that is pretty exciting. Jack, thanks so much for joining us on the show. Good luck for the rest of the NBL1 campaign and what's in store after that.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Well, Pete, great to catch up with Jack. He's one of the greats.
Oh, he is. You can see him smiling, having fun, and that means good things are in store for his future.
Hopefully some good things in store for a former NBL1 player this week.
Yeah, Dyson Daniels coming in the NBA draft. Looking forward to seeing that. Just shot up both physically and the way he's playing as well. So big things in store for his future. A little tidbit on Dyson Daniels. He and Josh Giddey came to training a lot when we were running around in Melbourne United at 2018. And I remember the first time they walked in the doors, I was asked Chris Golding, who are these two? He explained them and said they had big futures in store. And I kind of looked at them throughout the training session and said, you're crazy, mate. I don't think they'll get very far at all. Shows how much I know, and that's why I'm sitting here and not a coach.
Well, speaking of NBA flavour, love seeing a little tweet from Joe Ingles a couple of days ago. Any NBL1 games Friday or Sunday in Melbourne to watch?
DJ Vasiljevic from the Eagles said that there's going to one on Sunday for him to go down and watch. Promised a 30-piece, but it's good to see Joe getting out and seeing all the basketball. He'll be around the Boomers games, and I think he's got a couple more weeks left in Australia. Yeah,
well, it would be interesting to see what action he takes in this weekend.
I'm looking forward to that. Maybe I'll have to chat him up. He owes me a coffee, so I might have to swing by and get
him up. Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us on the NBL1 show. Have a great weekend of basketball wherever you are around the country and whatever conference you are involved in, and we'll see you this time next week. Thanks to Coles Express.
It's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!